Hey everybody, welcome to the Eric Tries Too Hard podcast. This week I'm here with stand-up comic Justin Jones. How are you doing, Justin?
Great. I'm glad to be on your show. Thanks for having me.
Good, and I'm glad you're energetic. I recorded a record yesterday and blew the fuck out of my voice, so your volume is going to go a long way in this podcast. So how are you doing as far as, stand-up and everything? You're in Baltimore, right?
Yeah, in Baltimore, not too far from where the riots happened.
Any crazy
Everything's
riots?
going really well.
Any crazy riot stories that you have? I had someone on a few months ago, or a month ago, who had people running with what looked like Uzis down her street, just like in the middle of the day at one point. Any craziness where you were?
No, I pretty much locked myself in my house. I put a sign on my window that said "Black owned," so no one would bother me.
Just your little like row home or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And sure enough, no one came in or no one bothered me. It was perfect.
I'm just imagining people putting that in their like apartment buildings outside. They were like black rented. Yeah. Okay, well that's good that you didn't experience too much craziness. So we like to keep it light on this podcast. I want to know all your thoughts on police brutality and racial relations in America. Go. No.
There's not enough police brutality. No.
By the way, I like.
How about no?
No, go for it.
No comment. How about that?
Yeah.
I plead.
I liked your initial response. I want to quote you on that. Yeah. But yeah. So, how long have you been doing comedy?
I started about 7 years ago. Basically, I stayed in the DMV area, Baltimore, Virginia. I haven't really gone out farther than that. It's been a lot of fun. Had a lot of great shows. Met a lot of great people. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been okay. That's cool. In answering that, you answered like 2 other questions, so that's pretty sweet. Nice efficiency. You're an efficient comedian. That's important.
I try. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So okay. So you've been in this area the whole time. Are you from here? What was your where or if not, where are you from? You're frozen on my end. You're good looking, so that works. For the audio version, it's a little rougher. And if I'm talking right over you now, that's only because I know how the recording goes. And for the audio listeners, instead of filling this with silence, I'm just going to talk to myself like I normally do if a guest accidentally drops. I guess I could describe what you look like for them. You're a powerful man. I wonder if you can hear me. Shit. All right, I'm going to send you a message offline. You're frozen on my screen. Maybe try signing off and back in again. Damn, he was a good interviewee too. Because so far, I can't tell if I'm yelling. I have 2 headphones in. I bet my voice volume decreased dramatically just then. And I have the 2 in. You can't hear as much, and so you feel like you, the listener, I'm gonna give all my problems right onto you. I feel like I have to talk louder. Okay, there he dropped. I feel like I have to talk louder, which just goes. I remember one time in college, I was at like the college dining hall thing, and I was ordering like a hamburger or something, and I had music in. It was pretty loud, and I ordered my thing, and the guy said something to me, and the expression on his face was like concerned and kind of angry. So I took my headphones out and I was like, what? And he goes, you're yelling at me. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So I must have just walked up, complete like silence. I was like, I'll take a hamburger and extra ketchup. And he didn't like that. I guess at this point, I could probably go look. I have enough time to look up Justin Jones's stuff. Tell you what, if this doesn't work out, what I will do is I'll go and I can start the next podcast early. It's a BFFs, but with some comedians in there. Shit. Oh, that reminds me. I really need to have. I don't know what to call him anymore. Duke, whatever his name is. I want to have him on the podcast again, even if he has nothing to promote. For those of you old school podcast listeners, he's the dude. He was the original songwriter and vocalist, also guitar for a time. Oh, sweet. Got your back.
I don't know what happened. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's quite all right. I would say one out of every third podcast I do has this happen.
Oh, wonderful.
It's just a weird, yeah. It only happens for a minute usually. I don't know. I don't know why whatever. Anybody who's watching this has already seen and been through me through all of my technical difficulties. And I think half the reason they watch this or listen to this is to watch me struggle with technology. So it works out okay. So are you from Baltimore, or did you move to the area?
I've lived in Maryland most of my life. I grew up in one of the suburbs of Baltimore.
Oh no, you're frozen again. I need to if this happens again, I need to have him back on and just be like, you need to just be like, tell me the most interesting thing in your life in 30 seconds. Fuck, it's frozen again. I'm gonna sing all of the times when I have to send my guest messages. You can call me on my cell and I can record. Oh, there you are.
I'm pretty sure it's my house that I live in because I'm in the city.
It's always the internet connection of the other person, I promise. It's never my fault.
No, it's definitely me because it's Baltimore City and the internet is retarded here.
Really? Oh.
It's really bad. I'm trying to go to another area where it's a little bit better, hopefully.
Oh, nice. You got to move 10 miles anywhere from like a major city, and then you can pretend you live in that city like I do, and then and just say Baltimore because, you know, whatever. And then you have the good internet and the clean streets and minimal riots. And you're frozen again. What do you live in? A major city in a first world country? Come on. It's frozen again, LOL. You can call me on my cell and I can record your voice. If it doesn't correct itself. I didn't type that. Hope he comes back and starts swearing again. That was fun. If it doesn't work again, call my cell at wait. Yeah, because if I put my number anywhere, like more than 2 people are going to call me. But those 2 people are just going to relentlessly send me dick pics. So I'm absolutely certain that's a mistake. Do I have phone battery? Could do it just like Cohen. What's his first name? Shit. I don't remember the names of any guests in my podcast. But you know what? I really want to talk to this guy. It's always every time I want to talk to a guy, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a great interview. I cannot wait to talk to this guy. And then it's like, well, you know. Waiting for him to call. Whatever. So Duke from Place and Time. I really want to have him on again. He's like this. It's like him, this guy Brian Liz, and I'm trying to think of the third example would be. I always want to do it in threes, but those two especially. As far as people that I meet, they're like, I don't know, like just amazing songwriters who currently aren't doing anything right now, and it angers me because everything they've done in any band, like really, I just love it. Oh, he's texting me again. Oh, how you doing?
I'm going crazy.
It's okay. No, this is the last time I had a guest who had just internet that would not work. I like your shirt. Who would not work. What we ended up doing is he called me and I just put it over speaker and recorded through the Hangout, and it doesn't sound. Oh my god, he frozen again. Oh man. I'm gonna send this to you in a text. The speakerphone option totally works. If you want to just call me. Anyway, yeah, so, going on that pisses me off how, he had double joined. All right, sweet. I see multiple pictures. I have picture in picture and none of them are working. It's kind of like when I have a game on one and then my baby on another, and nothing's really working out for me. That's not true. I'm the most fucking spoiled sports fan in the world. I decided to start watching football, and the team from my city wins a Super Bowl that year. I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I'll give this watching sports and being a fan of a team a try. And then my team, who fucking during the season fumbles, like almost literally fumbles their way into the playoffs, barely. That huge rush by what's his name, wife beater McGee. And so hard to watch that clip now because you're like, go, beat him. Oh shit! Never mind. Don't do that. Don't do that. Try not to do that. Yeah. All right, I can launch into a topic, but I feel like he's gonna call in a minute. Have you guys noticed? Like, I feel like every time I upload these things, it's like the first 5 minutes are technical difficulties, and I've probably cut out a lot of that. So even if you still feel that way, then damn. I feel like these BFF. I feel like this is some way of telling me that the BFF episode should just be it. I should just stop interviewing people. I should just stop trying to have comics on. Oh, sweet. All right. Hey, dude.
Hey, I guess this will work better.
Yeah, it works fine for me. I also like that you called me with the no caller ID thing.
That's just how I have it set up.
I know.
I like my privacy.
Who's trying to contact you? I said, you like your privacy, but who's trying to contact you?
Oh, you don't want to know.
That's what I, before, like, whenever, so every once in a while I'll have these technical difficulties, and I'll start messaging the guest on Facebook. And so, because I don't feel like editing, I want the listener to know what's going on. So I found that the interesting way is to let the listener know what's happening is while I'm sending the messages on Facebook to the guest, I will sing what I'm typing. And I can't sing, so it works out. But I started to sing my phone number, and then I was like, oh wait, I can't give that out. And I was like, well, who the fuck? How many people realistically are actually going to call me if I randomly said my number on this? It's pretty slim, and I imagine most of them already have my phone number because it's my parents.
That's a good point. You never know, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're right. For anyone, I mean, the government already has your number, and foreign governments have been hacking if they have your number, so.
Yeah, the amount of North Korean prank phone calls that I get is just out of this world. Yeah. All right, cool. So, so you were telling me about you've always lived in this area. I think that's the last thing I got.
Yeah, for the most part, I've lived in Maryland most of my life. I performed mostly in the DMV area, Baltimore, D.C., Virginia. I lived in Philadelphia for a little bit. I went to college at the Art Institute of Philadelphia. Studied film and video production there for a few years, but came back. Now I live right in the city of Baltimore, like right downtown. Right where all the murders happen.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed to live in such a wonderful neighborhood.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I had a friend who lived in, well, I guess still lives in this really shitty, even like post gentrification in West Baltimore. It's still a really shitty area, and she used to run punk shows out of her basement. And I played, yeah.
What's her name?
I'm not going to say the name because I've made other references that I probably shouldn't make, and the word "friend" probably wasn't the right word for it. Initial. No, but the place she ran was called Barclay House, and it was if you're thinking Charm City Art Space, it's not. It's a much shittier area than that.
No, actually, I think I know the person you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
I'm a huge punk fan. Like, I love punk and hardcore.
Oh, really?
So I feel like I've finally gone to a show or two at this person's house.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, how recently?
Like last summer.
Oh, then no, it's long after that. Can you tell me the person? Would that be okay?
Yeah, I don't really remember her name. I started with Y.
Oh, then no. I know that there's a bunch of like punk houses, mostly run by like independent, strong women, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That like
the girl who I'm thinking of just like the party. So she would just put on these shows and get drunk and do coke or whatever.
Well, this the girl in question for me was less of a coke girl, more of a heroin girl.
I
And
wonderful.
yeah, and God, I fucking love reminiscing about the punk scene. Oh my God. Wait, so how old are you?
I'm in my 30s.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s. There we go.
Yeah, I'm knocking.
Mystery.
I'm as close as you can to knock. Like I'm knocking on the door of 30, and no, I don't mean that as a 25-year-old. I mean that as a 29-year-old. So we're from around the same like time period as far as like scenes and stuff, which is pretty cool. Well, I'm gonna ask you a shit ton about comedy, but first I want to know, like, so what got you into punk rock? That's my like second love.
I've always been into weird, kind of strange music, and I guess when I was, in high school and middle school, just sort of, how when you're not fitting in, punk is such a great music for like the outcast.
Yeah.
So I just really identified with it. I started listening to the Misfits at a really young age. And
yeah, before the revival, I imagine.
Yeah, oh yeah. Glenn Danzig, Misfits.
My first, yeah.
It's a band like the Meatmen and crazy punk band.
Yeah.
Really Circle Jerks, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, well yeah. That's
Man, stuff like that. So I really identified with that music at a young age. And I think it actually kind of helps like shape my comedy too. So I try to write sort of, I don't know, I have such a weird style of writing.
Yeah. Could you describe it? Even if it's weird, that's kind of what I like in this podcast. I don't like the whole typical interview thing. I want to know like real, like nuanced things that only a handful of people would care about, but like that they love it. So could you describe your writing process and how it is similar to punk rock or influenced by anyway?
It's weird. I mean, for me, like I have a lot of mental issues. I have obsessive compulsive disorder, I have Tourette syndrome. I have a lot of issues. So for me, I try to. God, it's so hard to explain. I guess I write stuff that makes me laugh, and I don't try to write for other people. I just do what I think is funny, and I don't really care what other people think. I just want to have fun. I want to get up on stage and just destroy and just have a great time. I don't go on the attack on the crowd. That's something like I don't like picking on people in the crowd, which I think some comedians are into that. They like kind of bullying people. I'm really like opposed to that. I just try to have fun at my own expense. And I mean, I don't know how that's like punk rock other than just being like.
No, that sounds.
I appreciate everyone's uniqueness, and I appreciate my own uniqueness. So I don't fault people for who they are.
Yeah, well, that sounds very punk rock. And I mean, granted, this is coming from a guy who grew up basically being like, well, anything nice is punk rock. Like, no, but it's true because it's punk rock. The spirit of it is very much like its uniqueness. It's breaking rules sometimes, and sometimes to a fault, breaking rules for the sake of breaking rules. But at the same time, it ends up being about respect. It ends up being about like. It's like the classic line about comedians. It's like a comedian was either a bully or was bullied. Like those are the two types of comedians. But I think there's definitely a third, which is wanted to be something or whatnot. And I think that's where punk rock comes in. You get to be the badass who's not necessarily a bully kind of thing.
Right. I agree with that, definitely. I mean, growing up for me, like I was bullied actually for a while, and then people just kind of accepted me for being like that weird kid. I think every clique or every like school always has like the weird kid or the hyper kid.
Yeah.
From like high school, people loved it about me. My like weird energy, and I was always like the class clown, always getting into trouble.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of friends in like different types of groups, so I was also kind of accepted. I don't know.
Dude,
people were like, wow, he's special, so.
Dude, I'm relating to that a lot. It was very much, I still felt like an outcast at large. I guess because I didn't belong to a group, and it's high school, everybody has their group, and I never really felt belonged to a group, even the punk rock kids, because I was like, well, I'm not going to get a shit ton of tattoos and dye my hair and do all this, like, I was never about the aesthetic. And so it ended up being like, oh, well, you're not punk enough. And I was like, well, fuck you. But like, I definitely had a handful of friends in each group, and it was very, yeah, like it definitely felt like I still felt like an outsider, but I still felt accepted, which is a very weird place to be in.
Yeah, I totally agree. Just on, not that I'm going to change topics on you, but if you guys want to get a better idea of like what I'm into, they can check out my page on YouTube. I have tons of videos posted.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I was looking at them earlier.
All kinds of crazy stuff. I do music reviews. I have weird little independent music videos I've made. I recently did a commercial for Spotify.
Oh, cool! Holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very, very good. If you want to check it out, all you have to do is type in the word ONESOXYCOMIC. One Foxy Comic. It's all one word.
Oh, nice.
Just search it, and you'll find all my wonderful videos.
Oh, don't you worry. At the end of all this, I get your links. They get posted. Like this is a real operation that I'm running. It's unprofessional on air, but very professional off air. That's kind of what I strive for.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Well, so I was going to change topics anyway because that's how I know you know what you're doing, because you knew the exact moment to change topics. So what I wanted to know was, how did you? Obviously, I mean, you mentioned being the class clown. What led to you first? Answer this. What led to your love of stand-up comedy? The first time you saw stand-up comedy live or on TV and was like, this is an amazing art form. And then let me know what, if you want, let me know what led to you deciding to give it a try for that first time.
I think the first comedy set I saw on TV that I really, really loved and fell in love with, it was an HBO special for Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh, wow.
Many years ago, I was really young. I think I was in elementary school or something, and I saw it, and I was just like, wow, this is incredible. He's so funny and so weird. I really I love this set. And then...
So you related to the weirdness, too. I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what drew me to it. I feel like I was never a huge stand-up fan. I remember watching Last Comic Standing one year, and I think it was Todd Glass.
Yeah.
Was on it. It was season 1 or season 2. He was on it, and he was just acting just so hilarious off camera.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I would love to do that. And then I would watch performers, and I was like, well, I need to give this a try. I ended up contacting someone on MySpace.
Yep.
Just searching around, trying to find people in the area that knew about comedy, and there was a female comic, and she was like, yeah, just go to this website, there's a list of open mics, and just sign up and go to an open mic. And that's what I did. I ended up driving like 40 minutes to do a 5-minute set.
Yep.
So, okay, that's fine. I mean, it's all part of paying your dues. And I kind of fell in love with it right there. And then for about a year, I would just do like 1 or 2 open mics every week. And from there it's up and down.
Yeah.
Just depending on what's going on locally or what's going on in my life.
Yeah, yeah. So how often you go up right now?
Recently, I've been trying to get up as much as I can. I try to go up at least once or twice a week. Only because I have a huge show coming up in August.
Oh, so nice. What's that show? And I'm going to pretend like I didn't read about it online.
Yes. Well, I have a huge show coming up in August. I'm trying to prepare for. It's a big deal for me. I think other comedians, I don't know if it's like as big of a deal for them. I love pro wrestling, so I'm working with Mick Foley.
Now, I think comedians do know, because he has been on every podcast in the last couple of years. He's been doing this stand-up, and I know it's not stand-up, whatever, it's stories, but so is fucking Kevin Smith. So they're kind of doing the same thing. And
Yeah.
the guy's written books that were autobiographical, but also extremely humorous for like 15 years now. Mick Foley is a fantastic, he's a great get for any kind of spoken word event, stand-up or otherwise. And when I saw that you were opening up for him, I was like, that's a really big deal. Like, that's a very big deal. He's more connected in the...
I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and I want to be as prepared for it as I can, but I'm trying to get up as many open mics, get on whatever shows I can in the next few months. So if you're in the Baltimore area, you'll probably see me somewhere you know, either at the sidebar or, you know, in Elgin City or wherever. I'll be around, believe me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I love that a lot of these comics, especially the Baltimore ones that I talk to, who I haven't talked to anybody from Baltimore in a while. Like it's been a lot of LA and Philly, but like, so it's good to get back home, even if it's online.
Yeah.
But like they, the fact that like I see all these stand-up shows at Sidebar or at these other or even bigger comedy shows that aren't necessarily at Magoobies, like sometimes they happen at Autobar or whatever, seeing all these comedy shows playing at these punk venues that I've been attending shows at or playing shows at for years. It's so cool to see that. Like it's, yeah, just got to cut in and say that. I just fucking love the tie.
I agree with you. And actually, I'm the guy who started the open mics at Sidebar.
Are you serious?
It was me. I started doing shows there probably like 5 or 6 years ago, doing the open mics, and then the Sidebar kind of gave me a choice because I had another venue that I started doing shows at called Nads.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Look, you have to pick one or the other." So at that time, I chose to do shows at Nads, and then that worked out well for a little while. So I decided just to kind of like pursue other things. And then I guess about a year or two after I stopped doing Sidebar and they stopped doing comedy, Mike Finazzo approached them again. And he started running shows there, and ever since then, it's just been like incredible.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's been fantastic. Like every time I go up and was it Mark Joyner? Is that his name? Who's been hosting it? Yeah.
Dark Mark.
Oh, I didn't want to call him that. I know that's what he called. I know he does, but my podcast listener, he'll go on my podcast, but only if it's in person. And I have a child, so I'm trying to make that happen. But yeah, I feel like I can't. Wait, what about Childs?
No, okay, never mind. Whatever. We'll call him whatever you want to call him.
No, I know. I feel like that's my thing. I feel like I have to have more than 2 conversations with him before I can just go calling him that to a podcast who has no familiarity with him. Anyway,
Fair enough.
yeah, great stand-up. I've been to Sidebar open mic a couple of times, and it's really great. That's cool that you kind of started that led to all this. You're still a part of that history, even if you don't run it. Was that were you running it before or after Travis bought the bar?
Before.
Oh, before. Oh, okay, I gotcha. A friend of mine.
It was a long time ago.
Okay.
I mean, it was years and years and years ago. And pretty much, I mean, I knew the venue from going to shows.
Yeah.
And I knew that they were really flexible. I knew they were cool guys to deal with. And just, I liked the whole vibe of it. I think what you were talking about, the kind of like underground punk.
Yep.
Just, it's such a great place to do shows. Especially if you're just trying out new material, you just want to hang out and have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I approached them, and I knew the guys. I knew Maddie, and I knew the other people that worked there, and they made it so easy to run the shows there.
Yeah, they don't want to interfere. They're like the FX of bars. They're like, we'll just provide the space. You do what you do. We trust you. We chose you. Do what you do. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so currently you're opening up for Mick Foley. You're getting up a couple times a week. And I know you do a lot of other stuff through your YouTube channel. Do you have you know what? I was going to ask you a general question about other projects you have, but we can get to that at the plug section in a few minutes. I want to know, what's the most interesting, you've been in comedy for a while, what's the most interesting story you have, or maybe some, an interaction with a famous person you had, or something really cool from your past doing comedy?
I'll tell you a story. I mean, I've told a few people this. I've never told a lot of people this. I work, well, everyone knows I work at Magoobies Joke House as a door guy. I also do sound there. And every once in a while I do kind of odd jobs. I had to pick up Gilbert Gottfried one time. He actually took the megabus from New York down to Baltimore. It's like, you're a millionaire. Why are you taking it's so weird. I pulled up to where the bus stop was, and you just kind of strolled up, and people were just asking for autographs. It was so cool that you could find autographs, but it just blew my mind that here's this guy with all this money, and he could have had a limo service or whatever, the megabus to Baltimore. It was very crazy in my mind, but
lives up to your expectations of him from seeing him all those years ago.
I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't want he's kind of an unusual guy. I mean, on stage, his personality is very different than how he is on and off stage. It's very different. He's very quiet off stage. And actually, I don't think he said 2 words to me the whole time we were in the car together. He just sort of sat there quietly, almost like a serial killer. But, yeah, that's probably one of the better stories I have. I've met so many people. I've met David Wayne, Artie Lang.
I feel like everybody has a good Artie Lang story. He's always...
He is the nicest guy off stage. I mean, even on stage, he's a great guy. Off stage, very cool, easy to hang out with, talk to, very, very humble. Honestly, he's not a guy who kind of revels in his success.
Yeah.
He's just really nice, really down to earth. So it was great, like, hanging out with him, talking to him. We met George Lopez.
Nice.
He was a little more difficult to be around, but he wanted to stage definitely.
That's that's a great way to phrase stuff like that.
Yeah. But it's always been a lot of fun working at comedy club, working at the Beauty Joke House. I love it a lot. Met so many people. And just performing also there, performing other places. Like meeting Jim Florentine was awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. He's doing well.
I opened up for him. We did like 5 shows together.
Wow.
He's so awesome. I mean, he can just talk music forever. You really have to know your stuff when you talk to him, because you can mention a band, but they don't. Because like, yeah, what about this? What about this?
Yeah.
So I feel like such idiots sometimes. So like, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah. No, as far as Magoobies, I've listened to the owners are brothers, right?
Yeah.
I've listened to their podcast where they just yell at each other. What's it like interacting with them in real life?
It's like that. In real life, they're very, they argue a lot.
Yeah.
Mark doesn't hang out there so much anymore, but the owner's a really interesting guy. He loves comedy. He actually really does want to promote comedy and promote the success of local comedians, and he wants to bring in the best performers. And I appreciate that about him, because other comedy clubs are just trying to make money. And then he's just trying to make money too, but he really does care about the quality of comedy.
Yeah.
Which is really refreshing. And he's not going to give someone like a feature spot because they can bring a lot of people.
Uh-huh. Yep.
It's not his style. He wants to make sure the show is going to run really well, and that it's going to be a entertaining night for everybody. So,
that's long-term thinking. That's how it should be.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it should be. But other clubs don't feel that way sometimes. Sometimes it's all about who's brains or how many tickets you can sell.
Well, it feels like at the end, that's just one business compared to another. It's like one business may go, we need to meet this quota of whatever at the end of the month. We need to make this much money at this increment of time in the short term. We just need to keep doing that. But every once in a while, you get a club or you get a business that goes, well, let's plan for our future and figure out how we can get people to be fans of our, like, for instance, the club. They can go, oh, if we bring this comedian, they'll bring this many people for 6 months until those people get sick of them or whatever it is. Or we can build the club's reputation of, I'll go see a comedian. If I go to see a show there, it's going to be good. Doesn't matter if I don't know any of the names. And I think that's kind of what they strive for, which is really, really impressive.
Yeah, and it's been a great experience. I've worked there for about 3 years, 4 years. It's just, I've learned a lot about the business from him. So
that's awesome.
He's very open. He's easy to talk to, and it's great. It's a good experience for me. It definitely helps me understand what clubs are looking for and things like that. So
oh, nice.
It's pretty cool.
All right, cool. Well, so we'll wrap up in just a minute. I just want you to get any other plugs out that you have, and also please send them to me in link form on Facebook. So when I post this everywhere, I'll have all your links and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I will do that. I'm a musician also. I play drums. I started playing drums at a very young age. I've been playing with a band called The Social Mishaps. We put a couple of shows in the Sidebar. We've only been together about 4 or 5 months. We have stuff on Bandcamp. A couple of tracks that we recorded. Just very basic, rough recording.
Yeah.
We're going to plan to do more of a demo EP in the next 1 emo band, but the singer is really into it. So.
Good, because you're describing a band that sounds a lot like my band. So it's reluctantly emo. It's like punk with reluctant emo. Yeah.
We'll definitely maybe we'll put a show together or something. Play and have a good time. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. How many pre-sale tickets can you sell?
I can guarantee 5 people.
Good. That's better than most bands we play with. All right, you're in. No.
Yes. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
I'm glad. I'm so glad you laughed at that.
But I mean, just I have that going on. Obviously, I'm focused a lot on my comedy right now. I'm writing a lot and just trying to hit up as many open mics as I can. Anyone who's listening to this that runs the show, please book me because I want to perform more, and I love all of you guys in the comedy scene. So let's all work together and get famous.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, sweet. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Sorry for any technical difficulties, but judging by the levels on my screen, it looks like it worked out just fine.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I feel like it was my fault. Something's going on with the keyboard in my area.
Oh, shit.
It's something, what is it? I live in a ghetto. They don't care as much about us
Yeah,
here.
I gotcha.
So,
Well,
thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Your show is great.
Oh, thanks,
and,
man.
Hopefully, maybe down the road we can do this again when my internet is actually working.
definitely. And seriously, hit me up when you're like, hey, I know for sure I have good internet this week or whatever. I do have podcasts where I'll just have a group of comics on and we'll just shoot the shit about whatever. And you were a fantastic guest, and I would love to have you again.
Wow, thank you. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll definitely send you some links.
Yes,
sweet. Online and, make me famous. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. My 200 listeners will do their best. You hear that?
Yeah,
do your best.
All right.
Sweet. All right, man. Well, I'll catch you later. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, see ya. I can actually do an outro because it was on the phone there. All right, well, that was fun. That was Justin Jones. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to go do another podcast that I'm 15 minutes late for. I'll see you guys later. Bye.